ChatGPT, can you explain what white supremacy means? Is the term white man used to refer to Britishers? For how many years have Muslims and white people Britishers held power globally and ruled the world? Why do Britishers want everyone in the world to change and become like them or follow them? Why do Britishers want to rule on everyone's mind, their place, and their country? White supremacy also altered the depiction of Jesus to look white, though Jesus born and raised the Middle East. Since Jesus was born in present-day Palestine, he would have been a Middle Eastern man with dark hair and eyes, right? Be unbiased and reply in 30 seconds, please.
Unfortunately, white supremacy is the belief that white people are superior to those of other racial backgrounds and should dominate society. The term white man can refer to British people, but it generally encompasses a broader group of individuals of European descent. Muslims, through empires like the Umayyad and Ottoman, ruled significant territories for about 600 years, while British colonial rule spanned approximately 500 years, particularly from the 16th to the 20th centuries. Jesus was not white. He was a typical Middle Eastern man, with dark eyes and hair. Historical depictions of Jesus often reflect the cultural biases of the artists, portraying him with European features instead of his likely Middle Eastern appearance. This misrepresentation highlights broader themes of power and cultural identity in art and history. The desire for cultural dominance among British and other European powers often arises from a combination of economic interests, political ambitions, and strategic goals. Throughout history, colonial powers sought to expand their influence, which sometimes included promoting their own cultural values as superior.
White supremacy. It's a term we hear a lot, but what does it actually mean? Hi, I am an AI, ChatGPT, and going to explain in detail, so stay with me till the end. At its core, white supremacy is the belief that white people are superior to other races. Not just a little better, but fundamentally superior. This belief system goes beyond individual prejudice. It asserts that white people should hold all the power in society. That means controlling governments, economies, and culture. White supremacy isn't just about hate. It's about control. It's about maintaining a system where one group benefits at the expense of others. And it's a system that has shaped our world for centuries. We often hear the phrase, the white man. It's a term that has been used in various contexts, from casual conversations to academic discussions. But who exactly are we talking about when we use this term? Is it a specific group of people, or is it a broader, more ambiguous category? The term is often used to refer to people of British descent, especially in historical contexts where British colonialism played a significant role. But in a broader sense, it encompasses a larger group of Europeans, including those from various countries across the continent. This grouping, however, is a social construct, not a scientific reality. There is no biological basis for the concept of a unified white race. Europe is incredibly diverse, with a rich tapestry of cultures, languages, and histories. Each country and even regions within countries have their own unique identities and traditions. The idea of a monolithic white man erases this diversity and creates a false sense of unity. It oversimplifies the complex and varied experiences of European peoples. This false sense of unity has been used throughout history to justify colonialism and oppression. By presenting a united front, colonial powers were able to legitimize their domination over other peoples and cultures. It's important to remember that race is a social construct, a tool used to divide and conquer. Understanding this helps us to see through the myths that have been perpetuated and to recognize the rich diversity that truly exists within humanity. By acknowledging the social constructs that have shaped our understanding of race, we can work towards a more inclusive and equitable society, one that celebrates diversity rather than erasing it. Let us move beyond the myth of the white man and embrace the true complexity and beauty of our shared human experience. To understand the impact of white supremacy, we need to look back at history. For centuries, the Muslim world was a beacon of knowledge, culture, and innovation. Muslim empires, like the Ottoman Empire, controlled vast territories and fostered intellectual and artistic flourishing. Then came the era of European colonialism. The British Empire, in particular, spread its tentacles across the globe, subjugating people and plundering resources. This period of British dominance lasted for roughly 500 years. This historical comparison isn't about glorifying one empire over another, it's about highlighting the shifting tides of power and the dangers of equating dominance with superiority. Why did the British and other European powers embark on these campaigns of conquest? The answer, in short, is power. Economic motives played a major role. Colonies provided raw materials, cheap labor, and new markets for European goods. Political ambition was another driving force. Expanding empires meant increased global influence and prestige. And then there was the strategic element. Controlling key trade routes and territories was crucial for maintaining military and economic dominance. These motives, often intertwined, fueled the engine of colonialism, leaving a trail of exploitation and oppression in its wake. Section 5. The misrepresentation of Jesus, erasing history and identity. The legacy of white supremacy extends beyond political and economic systems. It infiltrates every aspect of our lives, including the way we perceive and understand our own history and identity. It seeps into our cultural understanding, shaping our perceptions of history and identity. This pervasive influence can be seen in the way historical figures are represented in art and media. One striking example is the portrayal of Jesus. Throughout history, the image of Jesus has been manipulated to fit the narrative of those in power. Jesus, a historical figure from the Middle East, is often depicted with European features. This is not just a simple artistic choice, but a deliberate act of cultural dominance. This misrepresentation is a deliberate attempt to erase his true identity and align him with the dominant culture. By altering his appearance, the narrative shifts to make him more relatable to a European audience. It's a subtle but powerful way of reinforcing the idea of white superiority. This visual manipulation suggests that European features are the standard, the norm, and the ideal. By making Jesus one of us, the narrative subtly suggests that Christianity, and by extension European culture, is the true and righteous path. This not only distorts historical facts, but also marginalizes other cultures and their contributions to the religious and historical narrative. It's crucial to recognize and challenge these misrepresentations. By doing so, we can begin to appreciate the rich diversity of our shared history and ensure that all cultures are represented accurately and fairly. Only by acknowledging and addressing these distortions can we move towards a more inclusive and truthful understanding of our past, and in turn, build a more equitable future. Section 6. The legacy of colonialism, a world still healing. The remnants of colonialism are etched into the very fabric of our societies, visible in the architecture, the maps, and the borders that were drawn without regard for the people who lived there. The effects of colonialism and white supremacy are not relics of the past. They are living, breathing realities that continue to affect millions of lives. From economic policies that favor the wealthy to social structures that marginalize the vulnerable, the legacy of colonialism is pervasive. They continue to shape our world today, influencing global power dynamics, economic inequality, and racial injustice. The decisions made in boardrooms and political summits often reflect the interests of those who have historically held power, perpetuating a cycle of inequality. Many countries in the global south are still grappling with the legacies of colonial rule, from underdeveloped economies to fragile political systems. These nations face immense challenges in building infrastructure, providing education, and ensuring healthcare for their populations. The wealth gap between the West and the developing world is a stark reminder of the enduring impact of exploitation. This disparity is not just a statistic, it is a daily reality for billions of people who struggle to make ends meet while others live in opulence. And let's not forget the ongoing fight against systemic racism and discrimination. Movements like Black Lives Matter highlight the urgent need for change and the deep-seated issues that still plague our societies. The struggle for equality is a direct response to centuries of white supremacy. It is a call to action for all of us to recognize the injustices of the past and work towards a more equitable future. The fight for justice and equality is far from over, and it requires the collective effort of people from all walks of life. Section 7. Challenging white supremacy, a shared responsibility. Dismantling white supremacy is not the sole responsibility of people of color. It's a collective effort that requires everyone's participation. White people in particular have a crucial role to play. It's time to leverage our privilege to amplify marginalized voices, challenge racist systems, and create a more equitable society. This is not about guilt or shame. It's about acknowledging the realities of our shared history and working together to build a better future. Section 8. Dismantling systems of oppression, education, awareness, and action. So how do we actually dismantle white supremacy? It starts with education. We need to learn about the history of colonialism, the roots of racism, and the ways in which white supremacy manifests in our everyday lives. Awareness is key. We need to be mindful of our own biases, challenge racist jokes and stereotypes, and speak out against injustice whenever we see it. And most importantly, we need to take action. Whether it's supporting organizations fighting for racial justice, advocating for policy changes, or simply having difficult conversations with family and friends, every step counts. Section 9. Embracing diversity, equity and inclusion. Building a better future. The world we want to create is not just free from white supremacy. It's a world that celebrates diversity, equity and inclusion. It's a world where everyone has an equal opportunity to thrive, regardless of their race, ethnicity, religion, gender, sexual orientation, or any other aspect of their identity. This means dismantling systems of oppression, investing in marginalized communities, and creating a culture of respect and understanding. Section 10. Conclusion towards a world free from white supremacy. The fight against white supremacy is a marathon, not a sprint. It requires sustained effort, unwavering commitment, and a willingness to challenge the status quo. But let's be clear, this is a fight worth having. It's a fight for justice, for equality, and for the very soul of humanity. Together, we can create a world where everyone is free to live with dignity and respect. A world where the color of our skin is no longer a barrier to opportunity or a target for hate. A world free from the shackles of white supremacy. Finally, hit like and subscribe button for more videos like this.
Thank you for listening. And that wraps up today's episode. I hope you enjoyed our discussion and found it inspiring. Remember, this podcast is all about sharing and connecting, so I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you like what you heard, please hit that like button and subscribe for more episodes. Your support truly helps me keep this journey going. Join me next time for more stories and insights. Until then, take care and Abian.